marching men, soldiers marching all over the world. The airborne infantry also marches, but not far this time. They're plenty tough, trained for action anywhere, ready for it any time. On the ground, they can take care of themselves and the enemy. But in the air, these men are dependent on the flight crew of the troop carrier airplane, with a good share of responsibility resting on the pilot and co-pilot. For the success or failure of a mission can depend on getting these troops to the proper place at the proper time. Handling the C-47 skillfully comes only from a thorough knowledge of the characteristics and performance of the airplane. Take a good look at this man. There was a day not so many weeks ago when he was a transition pilot. A day when he first started to learn the do's and don'ts of flying the C-47. Let's go back to that day. Here's Lieutenant Warren, a few weeks younger and a lot greener, but not too green. He knows enough to realize that the best insurance against accident is to know his airplane. That's why he's checking on the crew chief. Tires checked for blister cuts, proper inflation. Hydraulic brake lines checked for leakage. Warren has been taught that there's more to his job than just sitting down in the driver's seat. A good half of this flying business takes place long before your wheels leave the ground. Look her all over, Lieutenant. They say it's easier to check on the ground than in the air. Here comes a man who'll agree with that statement. Warren's instructor, Captain Matthews.
All set, Lieutenant? From top to bottom, Captain. Okay, let's go.
Mind if we go along, Captain? Maybe we can pick up a few pointers. We want to see what a transition pilot learns after he's through with his groundwork.
Lieutenant, what's the first thing you do in the cockpit after checking Form 1A? Flip on the battery switches. Wrong. The first thing you do is adjust your seat so that your eye level hits the center of the windshield. Now those battery switches.
Landing gear next, sir? Right. Latch down and lock. Check. Pressure up 500 pounds. Check. Neutralize landing gear and flap levers. Check. Light green. Check. Horn operation.
Here it is.
Check. Autopilot hydraulic valve off. Check. Fluid level. Okay, sir.
How's the fuel supply?
Left main 200. Right main 200. Left auxiliary 100. Right auxiliary 100. Total 600, sir.
Good. Let's take the quadrant column now. Move the prop pitch controls back and forth to be sure they're free, and leave them full forward. The same applies to the throttle. Leave them 1/4 open, and the mixture control. Return to idle cutoff. Elevator tabs should be neutral. Oil shutters in proper position. Put carburetor air temperature controls in cold position. That's to prevent damage to the induction system in case backfiring occurs on starting. Set aileron and rudder tabs at 0. Turn autopilot off. De-ice is off. Parking brake on. Move cross feed valve on.
Right, sir.
Move static selector valve to top. Double check your gauge by setting your altimeter at field elevation. Tap the altimeter to remove any friction. Check your tachometer and airspeed indicator for zero reading. Check your clocks. Now test the flight controls. Make certain that your rudder pedals are even and adjusted to you, and that you have free and maximum movement of the rudder, elevator, and aileron controls. Look out the window to see whether your aileron is moving.
Right, sir.
Check flap indicators for up position. Engine cowl flaps open.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll go through the starting engine check.
Ready, sir?
If the engines have been standing in excess of 1 hour, they should be pulled through by hand with the switches off.
Of course.
However, Major Krebs had this plane up less than an hour ago, so we can proceed accordingly. Left engine tank selector, left main. Right engine tank selector, off. Propellers in low pitch, throttles 1/4 open, mixture control and idle cutoff, carburetor air cold, main ignition switch on, left ignition switch closed. Raise the fuel pressure to approximately 10 pounds per square inch with a wobble pump and keep it at that pressure. I'm going to start the left engine. With a fuel pressure of 10 pounds, momentarily move mixture control out of idle cutoff position to rich. This facilitates priming. You then operate the starters by moving left starter switch and safety switch up to start. When the starter has reached speed, pull down on both switches.
Right, sir.
Mesh. As soon as this engine fires, move mixture control immediately to auto rich and pull back on the throttle. Keep the wobble pump working until the engine is functioning smoothly. Don't work it up and down too fast. Idle the engine to between 600 and 800 RPM until the oil pressure shows on the gauge. Pressure up, sir. You then adjust the throttle to 1,000 RPM. Stop the engine if oil pressure doesn't respond within 30 seconds. Now you start the right engine. You may not be able to hear the start of the 12 to 15 seconds you bring it up to speed. You've overloaded your engine.
Uh-oh. Sorry, sir. I forgot to return the mixture control to idle cutoff. Well, where do we go from here?
Move your throttle in a wide open position. I'll re-engage starter. As engine begins to fire, retard throttle and return mixture control to auto rich. That's the idea. Here's your radio switch. Leave your left earphone off so you can hear me.
Right, sir.
Call the tower for taxiing instructions. Open and close the throttles gradually. Don't ever accelerate the engine fast enough to cause damage to your gear train. I release pressure on the toe pedal just before stopping to avoid brake locking or jerking the plane. And remember, Warren, don't ever turn with one wheel locked. Always keep the inside wheel moving slowly.
Right, sir?
Next, we'll go through the engine run-up and prop check. Warm up the engines from 800 to 1,000 RPM. Keep the prop controls in low pitch until the oil temperatures reach 40 degrees centigrade minimum. Cylinder head temperature should not exceed 232 degrees centigrade. Adjust the engine speed to 1,500 RPM. Now move the left prop control from low to high pitch. No decrease in RPM and increase in the manifold pressure. This also serves to bring warm oil to the prop dome. After a pause of from 10 to 12 seconds, return the left prop control from high to low pitch. Now we'll run the left engine to 2350 RPM. At the same time, check the manifold against the RPM to make sure that both engines are putting out approximately the same power. Check both mags at 27 to 30 inches manifold pressure. Check, sir. The drop-off from 2 mags to either one should not exceed 75 RPM. Now you go through the same procedure with the right engine.
Prop controls to high pitch. RPM decreases, manifold pressure increases. Return to low pitch. Throttle, run up to 2350. Check manifold pressure and RPM. Check both mags at 27 to 30 inches. Drop off from both mags to 1 should not exceed 75 RPM. It all checks, sir.
That's fine, Lieutenant. Now go through the takeoff check.
Fuel selector mains. Mixture rich. Carburetor heat full cold. Oil shutter okay. Trim tabs neutral. De-icer valve off. Prop full low. High RPM. Cross feed valve off. Cowl flat. Trail. Wing flap. Up. Check for freedom of flight controls. Generators on. Set gyros.
As co-pilot, here are your takeoff duties. Watch the pressure instruments. Be ready to use the wobble pump whenever necessary. As soon as the manifold reaches takeoff limits, apply additional tension to the throttle locking mechanism. Also, guard the throttles from creeping back like this. Check RPM. I'll give you the signal when to retract the landing gear, and as soon as your wheels are up and the red light indicates the retracted position and the landing gear pressure dial shows 0, return the landing gear valve to neutral. You got it?
On the beam, sir.
Oh, and let me know if you spot any irregularities in the engine or instrument. All right, call the tower.
Shields up. Pressure 0. Neutral.
Throttle back to 35 inches manifold. Give me 2450 RPM. While cruising, engine car flaps should be closed and the valve returned to off position. Reduce engine power to desired cruising setting. Put the mixture control in auto lean. Change to auxiliary tanks. Be sure you change the gauge with the tank. Now I'll show you how the autopilot operates. First, make sure your gyros are engaged. I'll adjust the speed control valve. Then set the rudder knob so that the rudder follow-up card matches the directional gyro card. Then set the aileron follow-up index so that it matches the bank index. Then set elevator alignment index to follow-up elevator follow-up index. Turn hydraulic oil pressure valve to on. We're ready to let the autopilot take over.
That's quite a gimmick. Does everything but cook.
Don't get too sold. It's still all right, but it shouldn't be used unless conditions permit a safe control.
Meaning?
It shouldn't be operated unless one rated pilot is on watch maintaining a close check on the plane and instruments.
Hey, what's that?
Only the window fastener. That's something I forgot to check. While we're at it, let's check the autopilot. Let's see how taking on a little altitude affects its trim.